All right, elimination is based on, to solve a system of equations using elimination, is based on adding the two equations together in hopes that x or y will add to 0. Now, let me demonstrate that real quick with this example. If I take these two equations right now and I choose to add them together, I can add the 3x and the 2x, and I get 5x. If I add a y to a negative y, I get 0. There's no need to write. You can write 0y, but there's really no need. So what basically happens is the y just got eliminated. And that's a good thing. 5 plus 5 gives me 10. So I now have 5x is equal to 10, and I can solve that. I divide both sides by 5, and I get that x is equal to 2. Now we have to remember, when the question is to solve a system of equations, the answer is a point. I only found half. I found x. X is 2. So I still need to find y. How do I do that? I take this 2 and I plug it back into either equation. Doesn't matter. I should get the same answer for both. Let's try the first one. 3 times 2 plus y equals 5. 3 times 2 is 6 plus y equals 5. Subtract 6 from both sides, and y is equal to -1. Didn't circle that one. So there we go, I have an answer. But I want to know if I have the right answer. Just because I have an answer doesn't mean it's the right one. So I plugged this 2 into the first equation to figure out y. So I need to look at the second equation now. This is where I'm going to check my work. 2 times x, which is 2, I hope, minus y, which is a -1. I have to be very careful when I put that in, equals 5. Well, let's make sure. 2 times 2 is 4, minus a -1 is plus a +1, and 4 plus 1 is 5, so I know I'm right. All right, well, with that said, sometimes the equation is not so nice and easy. This equation, I was able to add them right now and get the y's to eliminate. But that doesn't always happen. If you see right here, if I add these two right now, I have 3x, and 3y minus y is a positive 2y. Nothing eliminated. Neither x nor y added up to 0. So, didn't work. I'm going to have to try something a little different. What I need to do is I need to pick a variable. Which one do I want to eliminate? I'm going to lean only slightly towards the y instead of the x for one reason, and that is this is a positive 3y and this is a negative y. We have to keep in mind to add to 0 you have to have one positive number and one negative number. 2 plus -2, 5 plus -5, 3 plus -3. So I need this y to be a -3y. How do I do that? Well, I could multiply it by 3. But remember, if you're going to multiply by 3, you have to multiply everything by 3. So let's see what we have. I'm going to rewrite them over here. My first equation is a 2x plus 3y equals 9. My second equation is now going to be 3x minus 3y equals 6. I just distributed the 3 to each and every part of the equation. Now look, I can add the y's, or I can add the equations, and the y's will add up to 0. That was my goal. So 2x plus 3x is 5x, kind of like the last one. 3y minus 3y is 0. 9 plus 6 is 15. And I find when I divide both sides by 5 that x equals 3. I have half my answer. But remember, your answer will look like, oh, I'll get another color here. No, not that one. Green. A point. And I feel that x is 3. So let's figure out y. I'm going to take either equation. Doesn't matter, I'll take the first one. 2 times x, which is 3, plus 3y equals 9. 2 times 3 is 6. Subtract 6 from both sides. And I get 3y equals 3. Oh, I hope you can see this. I'm going to bring it right back up here just in case. 3y equals 3. Divide both sides by 3. Y is 1. So now I have a y coordinate. Gee, I hope it's right. Should never even wonder. I still need to check it. And if I check it, then I know it's right. So I just plugged this 3 into the first equation. Let's try the second equation. X minus y equals 2. Remember, we cannot use this one over here. Use the original just to make sure. Because if something's wrong, maybe that was your error. So we want to go back to an original equation. X minus y equals 2. X minus y equals 2. This is where I check. And 3 minus 1 is equal to 2, so yes, I'm right. Yay! All right, one more. That question was nice because I only had to multiply one equation by a number, but it doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes multiplying one equation by a number is not going to help you eliminate a variable. So again, my approach is pick a variable. I can honestly say there is no preference here. I can choose x just as fast as I can choose y. It really is not going to make a difference. So last time we eliminated y, let's eliminate x this time. To eliminate x, I have to ask myself, what do 5 and 3 both go into? And the answer is 15. So how do I make this a 15? I need to multiply it by 3. So what do I get? 15x plus 12y equals 30. How do I make this x a 15? I multiply it and everything else by 5. Normally, I would say you have to multiply one equation by a positive and one equation by a negative. But since they are already one positive and one negative, I don't have to do that. Because this, multiplying by 5, is going to give me a negative 15x minus 25y equals 35. Yay! I can now add them. And guess what happens? The x's add up to 0. 12y minus 25y gives me a negative 13y. Ooh, I like this one. It's not so basic and simple. 30 plus 35 is 65. Divide by negative 13. Negative 13. And I get y is equal to a negative 5. Wasn't sure, but it came out nice. So, let me get that green marker out again. There's my answer. I think y is a negative 5. Make sure to put it in the right spot. And when you plug it in, make sure you're plugging it in for the correct variable. I'll pick the first equation because it's first, and I need to solve and figure out what x is. 5x plus 4 times y, which is, I hope, negative 5, equals 10. Sorry about this. the way. 5x minus 20 equals 10. Add 20 to both sides. 5x equals 30. Divide by 5. X is 6. I hope you can see that. I get that green marker out again. And I have one thing left to do, and that is to make sure I have the right answer. So I'm going to check my work. I just plugged this into the first equation, so I'm going to check my work with the second equation. Negative 3 times 6 minus 5 times negative 5. Ooh, watch those negatives. Be very careful. Equals 7. Negative 18 plus 25 equals 7. And negative 18 plus 25 does equal 7, so I'm good. It's 3 examples using elimination to solve, and hope that helps. All right, bye.